It is Monday, March 10th, and Donald Trump winning again. Wait till you see this and the ingenious idea for how the mass deportation process will work. The CBP-1 app redesigned to self-deport illegals, and what hasn't been reported yet is how they've been using it. Mass notifications going out to millions of illegal aliens this morning. Also, Elon Musk in the crosshairs of establishment Washington. What we're hearing they have planned next for him. They're not messing around. He needs to be very careful. And the Dems' new big lie, getting debunked. This is great. We're going to show you and more stories as well from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you.
President Trump's two main policy objectives, the economy and the southern border. The latter has been solved. The southern border sealed. The lowest number of illegal border crossings since CBP began keeping records. Only 8,000 total illegal crossings last month, February 2025. All of which were immediately ejected from the U.S., ejected back across the border. Trump's policy is catch and eject instead of Biden-Obama's catch and release. In fact, the number of illegals crossing the border is so small, less than 300 people a day even trying to cross last month. Think about that. The entire length of the southern border, over 1,000 miles of border, less than 300 people a day even trying to cross. It's so few that reporters working for corporate media outlets assigned to the border bit have nothing to do. Watch.
How else have they been able to get these numbers down so dramatically low?
Maurice, I'm going to tell you something that I heard today from an immigration attorney dealing with all kinds of cases. Just Trump being in office is deterrence enough. But there have been dozens of policies and actions from the Trump administration, from trying to stop refugee resettlement to ending the appointments that tens of thousands of people had to make their case for asylum, to ending visa programs, parole. And the impact is felt throughout the hemisphere.
Spent how long, going along the
About
border?
4 hours.
And how different was this trip versus past trips
We
during
did
different
not see a
administrations?
single migrant or asylum seeker. And typically, when we go to the U.S.-Mexico border, we at least see one group of people who are trying to cross into the U.S. illegally. We did not see a single migrant. We saw soldiers, Border Patrol agents, and National Guard troops and vehicles and barriers, but no migrants.
So the border is now sealed, something Trump campaigned on, promised he would do, and he has. Next is the mass deportation effort. So how do you get 10 plus million illegals out that Joe Biden released into the interior of the country? That's how many people, new people, entered under Biden that we know of. 10 plus million new illegal aliens, which is a mind-numbingly large number. That's like 10,000 a day or something like that. It's insane. And he did it by creating the CBP-1 app, a mobile app for your phone that illegals use to schedule transportation into this country. Think about it. Our tax dollars funded the invasion. It's crazy. Well, Trump's DHS just redesigned the app to schedule transportation out of the country, a tool to help deport yourself. The same people who use the app to come into the country, which they have on their phones, all these illegals who came in were given a free cell phone by DHS when they released them into the country. All their cell phones have the CBP-1 app already pre-installed. Biden's DHS did that purposely so that they could track them. And what's not been reported yet is that we're now pinging their phones with a notification to begin self-deporting themselves, to begin the self-deportation process. Millions of notifications going out this morning, Monday morning. Millions of illegals walking around felt their phones vibrate this morning and jingle to the sound of the U.S. government telling you to schedule your deportation. This is genius. Watch.
The Trump administration has taken that controversial CBP-1 cell phone app for migrants that the Biden administration was using, and they've repurposed it into a self-deportation app that is officially launching today. And we're getting an exclusive first look at it. Take a look. The app is now called CBP Home. It allows illegal aliens in the U.S. to register to self-deport. They fill out biographical information, including their countries of citizenship, which country they plan to return to, their alien registration numbers, their contact information, and it allows them to upload photos of themselves to confirm their identity. All of it is then submitted to CBP, and they leave the country. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would an illegal immigrant want to self-deport? Well, DHS says if they leave now, they will have the opportunity to return to the U.S. legally in the future and chase the American dream. But if they don't leave, they will be found, arrested, detained, and deported with a permanent ban on entry into the United States. In a statement to Fox News, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in part, quote, the Biden administration exploited the CBP-1 app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. With the launching of the CBP Home app, we are restoring integrity to our immigration system. If they don't self-deport, we will find them, deport them, and they will never return. The Biden administration's use of the CBP-1 app allowed more than 40,000 migrants to come into the U.S. at a port of entry every single month. That totaled nearly 1 million migrants by the end of his presidency. President Trump terminated that app immediately upon taking office.
This is one of those issues that infuriates Democrats. They used huge political capital to pull off the invasion over the last 4 years, successfully getting 10 million new people into the country, possible future voters, and it's all been for naught. They lost the election partially because of this issue, and now they're watching all their hard work go up in flames. Watch Jasmine Crockett, a leader in the Dem Party, someone for years they've been hailing as the future of their party. Watch what she has to say about this. Watch.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so
how does anyone vote for these people? Illegal aliens haven't committed a crime. They're illegal for a reason. It's a crime to cross the border illegally. Tom Homan setting the record straight. Watch.
Is it a crime or a misdemeanor to enter the country illegally?
It's a crime to enter the country illegally on Title 8, United States Code 1325, and it's really pathetic that any member of Congress don't understand what the law says. They wrote the law. They enacted the law. It was signed by the president. It's a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. If you've entered it prior, it's a felony. So, I've been saying this for I don't know how long on your show, and I had to educate AOC years ago during the hearing that it's a crime to enter this country illegally, and we're going to enforce those laws.
In another story, the left is now in full-blown destroy Elon Musk at any means necessary mode. 2 months ago, they started with a legal avenue of attack using the courts to fight Elon and Doge. That failed. This weekend, a federal judge unleashing Doge, removing the temporary block that Dems obtained to lock Doge out of Treasury Department data. That's gone. Then they moved to a character assassination type of attack, which they've been deploying for weeks now, trying to crush Elon's popularity, hoping if Elon's approval rating started to fall, it would take Trump's approval down with him. Well, that failed as well. Elon and Doge's approval still above water, 54%, a clear majority of Americans approving of the job they're doing. So now they've moved to a physical mob style of attack, intimidation and actual political violence, something that's flat out illegal. That's how serious they are about stopping him. Over the weekend, left-wing extremists funded by Act Blue, the Dems' main political action committee, continued their assault of Tesla dealerships, torching half a dozen Cybertrucks in Seattle, Washington. Watch this footage captured at the scene last night. Watch.
Oh my gosh, a Tesla Cybertruck is on fire. All right, there's a fleet of Cybertrucks right now. Unbelievable. Seattle fire on the scene. So you gotta get off the breaking news. I'm sorry? Get off the property. All right, you've got dozens of firefighters now putting out flames on the Cybertruck. Absolutely insane. Look, you still see flames right underneath the Cybertruck.
Saturday, 2 days ago in New York City, this man chased down a random Cybertruck driver in Midtown New York, all because of the car he was driving, cursing and hitting the man's vehicle. This is full-blown Elon derangement syndrome. What they're now trying to do is intimidate him to step down from Doge. If not, have him choose to do it voluntarily. Force Tesla shareholders to push the board to have him step down, thinking if there's enough pressure from his shareholders, from his customers, and his board, he'll have to resign from Doge. All these attacks causing Tesla's stock to crash now, much more than the overall market or the NASDAQ, down almost 12% today alone. MSNBC coming right out and admitting this is what they're doing. Watch.
He's very rich. He's got control of X. Those are big assets to Donald Trump. But I got to say, how long Elon Musk is going to want to continue to see people attacking Tesla dealerships around the country, lighting Tesla charging stations on fire, painting swastikas on the sides of Tesla dealerships, and seeing the stock price plummet that way, impacting his personal wealth. I don't know.
This is political terror, folks. It's wrong. It's illegal. The founder of a group called Tesla Takedown, Valerie Costa, who's funded by Reid Hoffman and George Soros, allegedly, admitting that her group is fueling the spree of vandalism nationwide, proudly admitting her campaign draws inspiration from, guess who? Luigi Mangione. You can't make this up. This is who these people are. Watch.
Val, maybe we could start off with a little bit of, can you just actually tell us what Tesla Takedown is? Or
Yeah,
it's not Takedown Tesla, it's Tesla Takedown.
Tesla Takedown. Yeah, there's a website called TeslaTakedown.com, which is a website you can go to, get some background on the campaign. And it essentially is a map where anybody in the world can put an action up for targeting Tesla. And so I've been involved in that campaign, and in particular, planning actions in the Seattle area targeting Tesla.
In Tesla Takedown, there's a spirit out there, which had already, as we saw with Luigi Mangione, there's a spirit which is very anti-corporate, very anti-billionaire, very anti sort of elite. And Tesla Takedown is also tapping into some of that spirit as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would say it's just what I've noticed being involved in organizing in the Seattle area for some time, especially after the election and the inauguration. People were like, what do we do? We don't want to just waste our energy protesting for the sake of protesting. And especially in Seattle, and I would say on the West Coast, I'm sure it's true of many places, we're really far from the center of power in government. And I think as it became clear that Elon Musk was taking on this outsized role at the federal level, totally, I would say, criminal role nationally, we're like, oh, wait, like we can target Elon here because his company, the source of the majority of his wealth, has numerous locations in the Seattle area, and ultimately money talks. And we've planned, whether it was troublemakers or partners that we've been working with over the last few weeks, have planned multiple actions at Tesla.
In another story, the Dem party is in full meltdown mode. They have no clue how to fight back, how to respond effectively to Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. We saw this play out on Gavin Newsom's new podcast. He was genuinely asking Charlie Kirk last week for advice on how to save his party, but the one main message that they're all getting behind and that their stenographers in the press are parroting is the big lie, the new big lie that Trump's going to cut Social Security and Medicare. The problem is, it's a lie. They all know it's a lie, yet they continue saying it. Watch.
On tour and is coming to a city near you, and they are going to cut your Social Security, they're going to cut your Medicaid, they're going to cut your Medicare, they're going to cut your Section 8, and you're not going to get money, your prices are not going to go down.
What he is doing is cutting with a chainsaw important services that benefit every American to make room for those tax cuts for the very rich. And so they want to cut things like Medicaid, Medicare, and on top of that, they will add to the deficit and debt.
Now, this is super annoying, but it's expected. We can expect Dems to lie and say this, but what really bothers me is the anchors asking the questions, don't correct them with facts. Every one of them, all these networks know these people are lying, that what they're saying is false. Trump yesterday morning correcting the record yet again, debunking the big lie in an interview with Maria Bartiromo of Fox. Watch.
We're going to have growth like you've never seen before.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you said that.
We're going to have growth. I'm not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Now, we're going to get fraud out of there. You know, you see where I talk about it all the time. We have people 250 years old and all, you know, tremendous fraud. But that has nothing to do with that. We're going to get the fraud out, and everybody wants us to get the fraud out, and therefore you'll make it better. But we're going to have tremendous growth. When you look at all of the car companies that are now coming into the United States, and they've been announcing, like on a daily basis, they're going to build their plants and they're going to create tremendous numbers of jobs and so many other things. And I'm doing something else that I think is very exciting. Maybe I'm wrong. A gold card. For $5 million, you buy a path to citizenship in this country. We'll see. I believe that Apple and all these companies that can't get people to come out of college and come because they get thrown out. Think of it. You graduate number one at the Wharton School of Finance or Harvard or Stanford, and you get thrown out of the country. You can't stay more than one day. And they want to hire these people, but they can't. They've complained to me about it. Now they can buy a gold card, and they can take that gold card and make it a part of their deal to get these top students. No different than an athlete, like a bonus. It's a signing bonus. And you're going to have a lot of people buy that. You're going to have a lot of companies buying gold cards. So for $5 million, now, it's a lot of money when you add it up if we sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
If we don't, it's nothing ventured, nothing lost. But I think it's going to be very successful. You can't get a green card. A green card, this would be a green card on steroids. This would be much better than a green card.
So that's the big policy issue that Dems plan to run on, stopping Trump from canceling Medicare and Social Security. It's what Congressman Al Green was censured for last week. He was shouting at Trump during the State of the Union about cutting Medicare, but he never has cut Medicare. He's always said, he's always promised he would never touch Medicare or Social Security. This just isn't true, yet this is the message. This is what we're going to start to hear. This is what they're going to run on. And imagine being in a party where you're reduced to that. Your main policy point isn't even true. That's where we are. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.